So let's dive into this really interesting personal experiment. It's a 7-day challenge to wake up at 5 a.m. And I mean, no excuses, no hitting that snooze button. It's just you, the darkness, and that alarm clock.
It sounds pretty dramatic, doesn't it? The idea that just 7 days could, completely change your life's direction? Well, that is the exact question we're going to dig into today.
And this is the heart of it all. 5 a.m. Not 5:05, not just 10 more minutes. The whole challenge is built on this one very specific, very non-negotiable number. Okay, so first things first, we have to understand the why behind this whole thing. Like, what was life like before? What was the problem that needed a solution this drastic? I think this probably sounds familiar to a lot of us, right? You roll out of bed at 8 or 9, and what's the very first thing you do? You grab your phone, and boom, instantly you're hit with emails, notifications, news. The day starts with you reacting, not acting. You're already behind before your feet even hit the floor. And that kind of morning? Well, it leads directly to feeling like this. You feel lazy because you're not really in the driver's seat, you're distracted by a million things pulling you in different directions, and you're constantly feeling like you're playing catch-up. It's a really frustrating way to live. So something had to change. A decision was made, and the rules were crystal clear. Just 7 days, alarm set for 5 a.m., and here's the most important part. Full discipline. This wasn't about trying to wake up early, it was about doing it, period. All right, section 2, the pain of day 1. And yeah, as you can probably guess, this was not easy. The struggle was absolutely real, especially right at the beginning. This pretty much says it all. You know that voice in your head? It wasn't just a feeling of being tired. It was a full-on mental battle. Your brain, your body, every part of you is just screaming to go back to what's comfortable, to go back to sleep. Those first 48 hours were just a total fog. You're exhausted, you have zero motivation, and you're seriously asking yourself, why on earth did I think this was a good idea? All that initial excitement is just gone. It's just you and the struggle. But here's where the story gets really interesting. Right in the middle of all that pain and doubt, something totally unexpected showed up. It was like a little crack of light in all that darkness. And this was it. The reward wasn't some burst of energy or a wave of productivity. Not yet, anyway. It was silence. Just pure, deep silence. No cars on the street, no emails dinging, no notifications popping up. It was just this incredible moment of peace and clarity before the rest of the world woke up. And that quiet moment, that was the beginning of the big change. Which brings us to our third section, the midweek shift. This is where things really started to turn around, where the pain started to morph into power. I mean, look at the difference here. It's a complete flip. You go from reacting to the day to actually leading it. Instead of getting sucked into the chaos of a phone screen, the day now starts with something simple and intentional, like drinking a glass of water or just watching the sunrise. You're moving from playing defense to playing offense. You can almost map out the whole journey emotionally. Day 1 was just awful, pure pain. By day 3, though, the body starts to kind of give in. It's adjusting. And then somewhere around day 5, something really clicks. That feeling of adjustment turns into a real feeling of strength, of power. By the end, you don't even feel like the same person who started. So what do you do with all this extra time? That's the key, right? It wasn't just about being awake. That quiet, focused time was filled with the important stuff that usually gets pushed aside. Actually exercising, reading a book, planning out your day and your goals with a clear head. And all of this leads to the real discovery, the big idea at the heart of this whole experiment, the power of discipline. This basically became the mantra. When you start your day with a victory, and just getting out of bed when you said you would is a huge victory. It creates this amazing ripple effect. That feeling of accomplishment just carries you through the rest of the day. But hold on, here's the plot twist. After this whole journey focusing on 5 a.m., it turns out the magic isn't actually about the specific time on the clock. That's it. That's the secret sauce. The real transformation, the source of all that power and confidence, it came from the simple act of being disciplined. The 5 a.m. wake-up call? That was just the gym. And let's think about what discipline really is. It's not about punishment. It's not about being harsh. It's really just about this. keeping a promise that you made to yourself. It's an act of self-respect. And these are the real rewards. This is the treasure you dig up. It's not about having more hours in the day. It's about building yourself up from the inside. You get more self-control, real mental strength, and this deep, genuine confidence that only comes from proving to yourself, hey, I can do this. Which, of course, brings us to the final, most important part. We've seen the story. Now the question is, what about you? Because here's the ultimate truth. This whole thing was never really about waking up at 5 a.m. That was just the challenge. It could have been anything, taking a cold shower every day, running a mile, whatever. The point was choosing to do something hard and then proving to yourself that you could. So we end with a question, but this one's for you. Once you prove to yourself, even with one small, difficult thing, that you are capable, that you can do hard things, everything changes. It opens up a brand new, much more exciting question. What are you going to take on next?